Shalom. This week's Sedra is Sedra Chukat. Teachers in lower grades face a challenge that the rest of us have difficulty relating to. Younger children who haven't developed a mature intellect and can't grasp abstract concepts seem to be easy to teach. After all, could there be a better audience to teach Noach's flood, the splitting of the sea, or the giving of the Torah at Har Sinai to? But when episodes such as Avram's discovery of God, the matriarch's infertility, or Paro's infesticide must be taught, the challenge that a teacher of young children faces is fully appreciated. In order to teach some of the more difficult episodes in the Torah, teachers must omit facts, add fictitious details, and give false impressions. This Dvar Torah will explore a well-known teaching of our sages quoted in the Pesach Haggadah, and often overlooked pasuk in our Sedra, and the two seem to contradict each other. In explaining the contradiction, not only will the teaching of our sages in the pasuk be understood, but a lesson in education will be taught. This Dvar Torah aims to give the reader an insight into the evolution of education. As the Jewish people get closer to their land, they approach the nation of Edom on the eastern bank of the Jordan River, and need to pass through their land. Moshe sends a message to the king of Edom asking his permission, but gives background to his people's historical journey. And let me quote for you, excuse me for reading Moshe's words. You know of all the hardship that has befallen us. Our fathers went down to Egypt, and we sojourned in Egypt for a long time. The Egyptians mistreated us and our forefathers. We cried out to the Lord, and He heard our voice. He sent an angel, and He took us out of Egypt. And now we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Moshe claimed that God sent an angel to aid our emancipation. Yet later in the Torah we learn that the Lord took us out of Egypt with a strong hand, an outstretched arm, and with a great manifestation, and with signs and wonders. Our rabbis, as quoted in the Pesach Haggadah, taught the phrase, the Lord took us out of Egypt, taught us that the Lord took us out of Egypt not through an angel, not through a sraf, and not through a messenger. The Holy One, blessed be He, did it in His glory by Himself. It's a phrase that we're all familiar with from the Haggadah. Moshe's statement that God sent an angel to help free us, that we find in our Sedra, and our rabbi's lesson that it was God Himself who freed us, seem to contradict each other. Yet there is no contradiction. I'd like to offer a suggestion. Our rabbis were correct when they stated that God Himself freed us from Egypt. Yet Moshe's role, the angel's roles, and God's providence in this world are all confusing concepts. In order to avoid confusing the king of Edom, Moshe simply stated history in a way that the king could understand. In order for lower school teachers to teach a complex idea, they need to utilize exaggeration, attenuation, and omission. It is important that children have a general idea of events and life lessons. The abstract details and subtleties are less important at a younger age. Just as Moshe framed history in a way that the king of Edom could understand, kindergarten teachers frame lessons in the way children can understand. As students mature, especially as they develop into adults, it is important to re-examine the ideas taught to them as children, and look for the abstract concepts behind them. There is more wisdom of the Torah than that is what. Let me say that again. There is more wisdom in the Torah than is what is taught to kindergarten children, and it behooves us as adults to try to study and understand it. Shabbat Shalom.